Thank you very much, Ambassador Sandhu, and thank you, Ralph Volkmer. I'm now delighted to welcome the Honorable Minister of Finance, Nirmala Sitharaman, the Interim Chair of the US IBC Global Board of Directors and Executive Vice Chair of NASDAQ, Ed Knight, Executive Vice President and Head of International Affairs at the US Chamber of Commerce, Myron Brilliant, and also, of course, Mr. Atul Keshap. I am very happy to welcome them. Could I have a round of applause as they walk in, please? Welcome, ma'am. Welcome, gentlemen. I'm very pleased to introduce to you the President of the US-India Business Council, Atul Keshap. Ambassador Keshap has had an illustrious career in the US Foreign Service, serving as the Charge d'Affaires to India, the US Ambassador to Sri Lanka and the Maldives, and as the Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for South Asia. Ambassador Keshap has been an ardent supporter and advocate of India and US's partnership for global good. I'm very happy to invite him to take the stage and offer the opening plenary for our summit today.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I think maybe a few of you haven't had your coffee yet. Good morning. Yay, all right. Honorable Madam Minister, it's so nice to see you. We're so glad to have you here. Thank you, ma'am, for gracing our occasion. I was delighted to see the video by my dear friend, Ambassador Sandhu. My boss is here, Myron Brilliant. Myron, good to see you. The chair of our board, Ed Knight. Ed, thank you for bringing the board with you to India. I want to thank the U.S. Charge d'Affaires, Pat Lucina, who's here. Thank you, ma'am, for gracing our occasion. Ambika Sharma and the entire U.S. IBC team and all of our members. It is, in this post-pandemic era, arguably a miracle to get this many people into a room. And I want to start by thanking all of the researchers who made it possible so that we could all have vaccines and have a healthy event. I want to welcome everybody to our India Ideas Summit and our 47th annual general meeting. The United States-India Business Council was set up at the behest of both the Indian and American governments in order to enhance trade and business and commercial ties between the United States and America. We have in this room our 200-member companies, our board. Our companies, of course, are Indian and American, and we are delighted to have them here. This is a magnificent way to celebrate 75 years of India's independence and self-rule, and the amazing developments that have happened in India's journey in the past 75 years, including the ever-growing strength of friendship between our two great democracies. Friends, I have no doubt that there is an unlimited potential in what we can do if we manage and maintain that spirit of cooperation that has achieved so much for us in the past 75 years. I'm delighted to see Delhi and this country moving at a speed that is absolutely compelling. And when you think about India for as long as I have been alive, which is perhaps quite long, I remember in India of the 1970s in a little town called Panipat, where my grandmother lived, where in order to make a telephone call, my dad had to go down the road to see a retired lady whose husband had been in the civil services and ask her if he might use her phone. And Bimla Benji was unfailingly polite and hospitable and always permitted my dad. But of course, in that era, you had to book the call through the operator so that the other person with whom you wanted to speak could also come to a friend's phone. Friends, think about how far and how fast this country has come. The things that we're seeing in Indian cities and in the Indian countryside today would have seemed like science fiction back in 1975 when USIBC was established. I can run through all the lists of achievements, the world-class metro systems, the Mundra port, the INS Vikrant, the digital payments platform, the UPI, the Aadhaar card that brings citizens access to every form of government, the Jal Jeevan mission. The list is endless. Roads, highways, ports, airports. The India of today is empowering its people. It is lifting its people on an impatient journey, a rocket ship to $30 trillion of GDP. Friends, I want to point a couple things out that are happening at the very, very basic level of Indian society. India is not only now the 5th largest economy on earth, it has managed to reduce waterborne illnesses by 66% in just 2 years. And it has doubled the construction of new roads since 2014, reaching an amazing record of 37 kilometers of new roads every day. We're seeing the same pace in the building of water pipes and the deployment of drinking water to every house in India. We're seeing amazing things in India's renewable energy market, which is one of the fastest growing in the world. The ambition and the scale of this has fueled India's rise and its torrid 7 and 8% annual growth. The United States and our member companies have been privileged to be a part of this amazing growth story for a long time. Some of the companies in this room, Madam Minister, came to India in 1902, 1910. They are Indian, they employ Indian, they bring the best managerial talent, skills, ethics, and corporate social responsibility in the entire world. Friends, in the coming decades, I look forward to seeing our two countries work ever closely together on the great challenges of our time. I believe that if we can collaborate, if we can be respectful of each other, if we can be constructive, we can build, the United States and India can build a high-trust ecosystem that is good for us, good for our people, good for the world, good for the idea of freedom, human freedom. Through our innovation, through our human talent, and through our leadership of major global industries, including the digital economy, financial technology, supply chain, and much more, we can create the clean energy technologies needed to combat climate change as both of our countries deal with the dangerous effects of a warming world. And together, I believe, Madam Minister, that we can build a free world supply chain for secure access to the things that we need to have: food, medicine, semiconductors, rare earths that we will need to run a digitalized net zero economy. By working together, by building a high-trust data corridor, by bringing leaders of government and industry and civil society, I am certain that we can meet these challenges and build an even brighter future in the next 75 years. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm very honored to be here. I'm delighted to welcome you to New Delhi. Thank you to those of you who have traveled from very far away, especially on the American Labor Day weekend. And I'm now very honored to invite up to the dais to light the diya Honorable Minister of Finance, Madam Nirmala Sitharaman, U.S. Chargé d'Affaires, Patricia Lacina, my boss, Myron Brilliant, the Executive Vice President of the United States Chamber of Commerce and also the head of International, and Mr. Ed Knight, the Chairman of NASDAQ. And may I also ask Ambika Sharma, the Managing Director of USIBC India. Please come up to the stage so we can light the diya and receive your blessings for a great conference. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Keshav. The lamp lighting is always auspicious. It is an ancient custom, and the fire, the lamp dispels all negativity. An auspicious opening, an auspicious inaugural to the India Ideas Summit. That's Dr. Vijay Chauthaiwale, the Foreign Affairs in charge of the Bharatiya Janata Party. Ambassador Keshav. Mr. Ed Knight. Mr. Myron Brilliant. Managing Director for USIBC, Ambika Sharma. Thank you very much to all our distinguished dignitaries for kicking off our summit.